Welcome to Secret Archives, where forgotten legends, ancient mysteries, and the untold truths of history come to life. Among the most well-known moral warnings are the 7 deadly sins, a list of vices that have shaped religious teachings, literature, and even modern society. These sins, pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth, are believed to lead individuals down a path of destruction, corrupting the soul and influencing civilization in profound ways. Pride, often considered the most dangerous of the deadly sins, is characterized by excessive self-importance, arrogance, and an inflated sense of superiority. In religious teachings, pride is seen as the sin that led to the fall of Lucifer, the angel who refused to bow to God, choosing instead to rebel. This arrogance ultimately cast him from heaven, transforming him into Satan. Pride has also played a significant role in mythology. In Greek mythology, Queen Niobe boasted of her superiority over the goddess Leto, claiming that she was more worthy of worship because she had more children. As punishment, the gods struck down all of her children, leaving her to suffer eternal grief. Throughout history, pride has led to the downfall of powerful figures. Greed is the relentless desire for wealth, power, or material possessions at the expense of others. This sin has been condemned in various religious texts. In mythology, greed is frequently punished. The story of King Midas serves as a cautionary tale. He was granted the ability to turn everything he touched into gold, only to realize that this blessing was a curse when he turned his own daughter into lifeless gold. Greed has driven many historical events, from the ruthless conquests of empires to the stock market crashes caused by corporate corruption. The Great Depression of the 1930s and the 2008 financial crisis both resulted from unchecked greed, where individuals and corporations prioritized profit over stability, causing widespread suffering. Today, corporate greed continues to influence rising prices, unfair wages, and economic disparity. Wrath, or uncontrolled anger, is a sin that fuels violence, revenge, and destruction. Religious teachings warn against wrath, as it blinds individuals and leads them toward acts of cruelty. Many myths emphasize the devastating consequences of wrath. In Greek mythology, the Trojan War began because of wrath. When Paris took Helen from King Menelaus, it ignited a war that lasted for a decade. Similarly, Achilles, consumed by rage over the death of his friend Patroclus, slaughtered countless warriors in blind vengeance. History is filled with examples of wrath leading to catastrophic consequences. Wars, political assassinations, and acts of terrorism often stem from unchecked anger. Even in modern society, wrath manifests through road rage, online harassment, and violent protests. The consequences of wrath are often irreversible, making it one of the most dangerous of the 7 sins. Envy is the deep resentment toward others who possess something one desires, whether it be wealth, success, beauty, or power. Unlike greed, which seeks to gain, envy desires the downfall of others. This sin is frequently highlighted in religious and mythological tales. In asterisk Christianity, envy was the sin that led to Cain murdering his brother Abel, as Cain could not bear that God favored his sibling. Today, envy thrives in the digital age. Social media platforms create a culture of comparison, where people feel inadequate by measuring their lives against carefully curated online personas. This widespread sense of envy fuels dissatisfaction, anxiety, and toxic competition, proving that this sin remains as powerful as ever. Lust is the overwhelming craving for physical pleasure, often at the expense of reason, morality, or responsibility. Religious teachings warn that unchecked lust leads to destruction, as seen in the biblical story of King David, whose desire for Bathsheba led him to commit adultery and murder. Mythology also warns against the consequences of lust. In Greek legend, the Trojan War was sparked by Paris, who abducted Helen out of desire, resulting in a catastrophic war. Similarly, Hindu mythology, the demon king Ravana destroyed because of his uncontrollable lust for Sita, the wife of Rama. In modern times, scandals involving celebrities, politicians, and influential figures prove that lust continues to be a powerful force. It fuels the billion-dollar industries of entertainment, advertising, and even technology, proving that human desire remains as intense as ever. Gluttony is the overindulgence in food, drink, or material consumption beyond necessity. While often associated with eating, It represents a broader concept, an insatiable desire to consume without restraint. Religious texts condemn gluttony as a form of self-destruction. In Dante's Inferno, the gluttonous are punished in the third circle of hell, where they are forced to lie in filth, symbolizing their excessive indulgence in life. In modern society, gluttony extends beyond food. It includes excessive shopping, binge watching, and overconsumption of digital content. The rise of fast food, consumer culture, and instant gratification all reflect how deeply gluttony is ingrained in our daily lives. Sloth is the avoidance of work, effort, or responsibility. Unlike other sins that involve too much of something, sloth is defined by too little motivation, too little ambition, too little action. In religious texts, sloth is condemned because it leads to wasted potential. In Christian teaching, sloth is often linked to spiritual laziness, failing to pursue righteousness or moral obligations. In mythology, sloth appears in various forms. The lotus eaters in Homer's Odyssey represent the dangers of idleness. After consuming the lotus fruit, they lose all desire to return home, trapped in a state of eternal inaction. Today, sloth manifests in procrastination, addiction to passive entertainment, and the refusal to challenge oneself. In a world where distractions are endless, sloth may be more prevalent than ever. Conclusion: are the 7 deadly sins still relevant? Each sin represents a fundamental human flaw, one that has been explored in mythology, literature, history, and even modern culture. In a world dominated by social media, corporate greed, political conflict, and instant gratification, these sins remain as relevant as ever. They influence human behavior, shape history, and drive societal trends. The question remains, are these sins warnings to be avoided, or are they simply an inevitable part of human nature? Perhaps the true danger of the 7 deadly sins is not in their existence, but in our failure to recognize their power over us.